Tucker Carlson has another explanation for what's happening with the cities, and it's demographics. And I wonder what he means by
Oh
demographics. Do
man.
you think it's age? Do you think he's talking about age when he talks about demographics? Let's
leave, and many of them have already left. We're about to see one of the great demographic shifts in American history. Unless the insanity stops, and soon, our biggest cities will revert to what they were 50 years ago: broke, dirty, and dangerous. On the bright side, we'll have resolved the gentrification problem.
What?
So a lot of college professors will pat themselves in the back.
What? Solve
Well-
the gentrification problem?
Well, he's saying we'll solve the gentrification problem because white, wealthy people are going to move out. And we're going to have this horrible shift in demographics, which I guess presumably means like we won't be as white as we were in the cities. And so we'll take care of the gentrification, but it's going to make our cities disgusting and dirty.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, how can anybody really look at this guy and say he is anything other than an unreconstructed racist? He may have other political leanings, but it is about white people first.
What confuses me about this is if you look at the evolution of Tucker Carlson as being like the libertarian capitalist, whatever he was painting himself as, it's actually, this goes very much against those theories. Like the conservatives and the centrists who want to keep cities alive because they were major financial investments. Sure, there's losses, but there's these like glass towers everywhere. I mean, New York was wealthier than it's ever been in history. And he's basically screaming out to folks to move out of the cities, wealthy folks, you know, let go of your assets, your expensive properties, and move to the suburbs again. And it's just a bad financial model, I think, for a lot of these guys. I don't understand.
He doesn't, but he doesn't care about any of that stuff.
I understand, but there is an agenda. Like
the agenda is, I'll tell you what Tucker's agenda is. There's a lot of racists out there. I'm one of them. And I also am finding this is giving me ratings success.
Yeah.
Because I'm willing to go on television and say, look, you don't need that many racists out there to become number one in cable television. If you are the best game in town and the only game in town, the only guy who's willing to say, you know, he's picking up basically Pat Buchanan's,
Yeah.
a lot of Pat Buchanan stuff.
Yep.
If you're willing to go out there and say on national television, we've got a problem. White people are being threatened. They're being driven out of the cities. And they're being driven out of the cities because Democrats are letting essentially black people and Hispanic people control our cities. And white people are moving out. White wealthy people are moving out, and we're going to see the cities turn into cesspools again because of it. I mean, this is what a racist says on television in 2020. That's basically it.
If you were to compare this to Bill O'Reilly, who was horrifying, this is like Bill O'Reilly on steroids. Plus, you've got the lead-in with Laura Ingraham, who is actually like a Nazi. They're putting up Sebastian Gorka on TV. Like this is a whole other Fox News.
Yep. There's not quite the charm. I mean, Bill O'Reilly's racism was at least sort of, you know, was a little bit Archie Bunkerish.
Yes.
You know, I thought I was going to go up to Sylvie's and I'm going to go, well, hey, mofo, give me the iced tea. And they didn't do it. And, but Tucker Carlson's talking about a plan. It really is such an amazing coincidence that his head writer was posting up until the day he got fired because someone found that he was posting on a white supremacist site. And
I'm curious if he's actually like fired. Is he like off the books or is he still doing calls with Tucker? Because that's kind of their jam, right? Roger Stone was still advising Trump even though he was fired. Same thing with Bannon. Like they're just off the books. So
sometimes it's really hard
to
to get new writers.